Nick Kyrgios, if I'd acted a bit differently, I would have had a Wimbledon title. Tennis's great disruptor speaks on his highs and lows on centre court and the BBC's very strange decision to leave him out of the commentary box. Wimbledon runs through Nick Kyrgios's tumultuous career with a mysterious force full of pain, glory, and controversy. It is a tournament defined by history and restraint, but, for Kyrgios the disruptor, it is also a place pitted with dark despair and sunlit magic. The Australian has spent a night in a psychiatric ward while playing at Wimbledon and also been served with court orders and lawsuits during and after the 2022 championship that ended in him pushing Novak Djokovic so hard in a memorable final. But he has since struggled with injury and he will miss his third successive Wimbledon this year. He still can't keep away. Kyrgios returns for a live performance of his podcast, Good Trouble, at the new Wimbledon Theatre on June 24th. But he pauses when asked what this strange and beautiful place means to him. Wimbledon holds special memories for me. It's the first Grand Slam where I broke through and it's the pinnacle of tennis. Every time you step into the grounds you feel the energy and the aura. But I don't always feel so comfortable there either because I don't act like the normal tennis player. Wimbledon takes note of that a lot. I definitely feel like a snowman in the desert there, but I enjoy it. Kyrgios cackles when I ask if he expects a few hecklers to join his secret guests at his Wimbledon show. I hope so. I really enjoy people that don't necessarily like how I go about things. If they want to come and heckle, I'm all for it. Open invitation, please. Past guests on his podcast range from Mike Tyson and Naomi Osaka to Matthew McConaughey and Djokovic. Kyrgios starts each episode by asking his guests what good trouble means to them. For Kyrgios, good trouble means shaking things up, not always doing things the way we're taught. The one thing that stands out for me, being a tennis player in a Roger Federer-esque sport where you fit into a mold, is that I've gone against the grain my whole career. I've definitely shaken things up and done it my way. We revisit his tournament debut in 2014 and I ask Kyrgios to describe his initial impressions of Wimbledon. That I was at the top of the tennis world. If you play Wimbledon multiple times you're playing in front of the royal box on a court where every blade of grass is the same length. If you make it onto that stage the journey has been worth it. Kyrgios was given a wild card that year and he played sublime tennis to beat Rafael Nadal in the fourth round. Nadal made only 18 unforced errors over 4 sets, but he couldn't contain the fire and brilliance of the Canberra teenager. Kyrgios hit 37 aces and 70 winners, including a between-the-legs flick that almost brought centre court down with delirium. John McEnroe said, "We have a new star on our hands." It was life-changing, Kyrgios says, but I wasn't ready at that age, 19, to take on the responsibility. 5 years later he played Nadal in the second round. It was another engrossing match studded with acrimony. He lost in 4 sets but attention focused afterwards on the fact he had tried to hit Nadal with a ball. The dude has got how many slams, how much money in the bank? Kyrgios said afterwards. I think he can take a ball to the chest, bro. I'm not going to apologize to him. Yet, as Kyrgios revealed years later in the Netflix documentary Breakpoint, he was in turmoil. He was drinking and self-harming to the point where he had to wear a compression sleeve on his arm to hide the scars. He spoke of how, in the aftermath of losing to Nadal, he was admitted to a psychiatric ward in London. But Kyrgios says something subtly different now when I ask if he can take us back to his time under psychiatric care. I had to go and play Nadal the next day. I didn't really have a choice. I am so surprised that I asked Kyrgios if he really had been on the psychiatric ward the night before he faced Nadal. Yes. In 2019 people assumed that I had an incredible year. I was top 20 in the world, but I was at my lowest. When I finally opened up that's when people started realizing that, yes, I haven't always been perfect or always done things right, but I'm willing to speak about it. I've had hundreds of thousands of kids messaging me on Instagram and I try and go through all of them and help as much as I can. How did he play against Nadal in such a fragile state? We have to sometimes block out what we're going through and go to work. I can't just run away. Kyrgios adds, Playing Nadal at Wimbledon and losing in a tight 4-set battle? I was extremely proud. I'm just proud I made it through his depression.